You're listening to Your Worst Friend, going deeper. Here are your hosts, Shane and Matt.
We are joined today by our special guest. You may know her. I have some questions too. I spoke to somebody on the phone. We will get into that, but I have some questions about your social media. We're joined today by porn star extraordinaire. She's awesome. I love all of her work. Everything I've ever seen of hers is phenomenal. Rebel Lynn. Now, Rebel Lynn, the best place you can find her, and again, we're going to discuss this, is on Twitter at the Rebel Lynn 2, number 2. She has maybe, Shane, I don't know if you know this, she has maybe the best OnlyFans name I've ever seen in relation towards her actual stage name.
Okay.
Her OnlyFans, for the listeners out there, go join, sign up. It's good shit. Join the rebellion.
Oh, cool.
I think
Nice.
that is an awesome name. It is creative. It's interesting. It's great.
It's like an uprising.
Yeah.
Remember that thing at the Capitol? That thing that happened?
Sure. Yeah, I do. Rebel, thank you very much for coming on with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, awesome. So let me ask you, right off the bat, is anything off limits? If it is, say it is, and we will cut this out.
I don't know what off limits means, baby.
That's a fair point. There you go.
There we go.
All right, so I spoke to someone on the phone. Do you discuss that person I spoke to on the phone?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. So I spoke to Rebel's husband on the phone just before this call started and before we started recording, and it was great. I had her on speakerphone with our producer, who's actually my wife as well, Jen.
Yeah.
And your husband called and he said, hey, Rebel's just getting ready with the makeup and this and that. Can we push it? We really couldn't because we had another interview, but, you know, she quickly got it all together. And I hang up the phone and my wife goes, oh, my God, how sweet is that? Her husband is setting up her Zoom and he's helping her and he's calling her and this and that. So right off the bat, let me ask you, what kind of, this sounds like a great relationship that you're in. It sounds like a really special one, like one that, you know, you should be involved in.
Yeah, it sounds like the relationship you should strive for.
How much does he help you with your work, your husband? And how much does he, you know, is he a part of the process?
You know, I would give him 110%. He, since the beginning of us meeting each other, we were in a business relationship to start out with. And so really our business relationship is just so strong. He is an event planner and business manager based out of New York. And he's been doing this his whole life, really much. He helps businesses grow, and he's helped my business grow beyond all of the work stuff. I'm a porn star. I don't deal with numbers. It's not what I do. But he loves numbers.
Numbers of dicks.
Yeah, it's not what I got here for. So he takes care of all of the specialties, all of the important details that I don't have to worry about. I can just, you know, show up on set, be pretty, and do my thing.
It's kind of like a Howard K. Stern, Casey Anthony love story.
Well, Casey Anthony is not the person you're talking about. You're talking about Anna Nicole Smith.
Yes.
First off, yeah. But
what was Casey Anthony's attorney's name? Because they both had you know, somewhat questionable relationships with their attorneys.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No, I don't know. I think it was the same guy that defended George Zimmerman, though. That's not a joke. I actually think that. Rebel, let me ask you. So was your husband, again, I know he's an event planner and this and that, so he's very organized. He crushes all the admin stuff. Was he in porn before this, or did you meet him, not even like acting, was he doing this stuff for porn, or was it like, I'm going to take my event planner skills and I'm going to now apply them to this industry, and business is business, so I should be able to do it?
Well, actually, funny story. One of the agents out here was having a hard time with his company. And this is before I ever considered porn as an avenue for myself, and he needed help with his girls, with his company. It was not really working out, and he knew Sydney from New York for years, and so he decided to call him up and say, hello, I need your help. Can you come out? And he came out and he started helping him. And eventually, you know, the relationship moved forward. But it was just sort of something that he decided to do because he has background in business.
And how long were you just business partners before it turned into something special?
I would say around 2.5 years we were
Oh, wow.
we were kind of dating, kind of business. We were always business first, but we kind of had this like charisma that couldn't really, you know, stop. And so it just kind of, you know, it kind of happened from there on.
And how long have you
tried
been
to fight
married?
it for a minute, but we eventually just kind of, you know, looked at each other and were like, you know, we kind of work together. Let's just stick with it. So.
And how long have you been married?
7 years.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's obviously super secure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Loves what I do. My biggest fan. Wants me to do it, you know,
That's awesome.
craziest of all things. And, you know, we're always the first ones to watch our videos. And it's pretty amazing.
We spoke to Dan Ferrari and Suzanne Ferrari, who
Mhm.
own slutinspection.com. Dan's a male porn star and they own that. And there's a cuckolding aspect to that. Is your husband the type where he goes, I know what you're going to do. I know
Yeah.
you're going to go there.
Yeah.
I will wait outside, or I've set up the production. Or is he the type that goes, yeah, I'm going to watch a little bit of this?
Both, you know.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, some days, you know, we'll just, honestly, it depends on what we're doing that day and if he has time. But he loves to stick around. He loves to watch. He loves to, you know, be there and then, you know, get some after.
Sometimes the Nets are playing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can't miss the game.
That is awesome. That's great. So you said early on, you said, you know, we can't, there's nothing off limits. Let me dive into it real quick and ask you, what are off limits when we're talking about shooting? What is something, we'll go a two-part question to this. What is something that you're like, yeah, no amount of money, I'm not doing that. And let's exclude the stuff like, you know, shit or animals or kids. I know
Yeah.
those
Snuff.
last two aren't necessarily even real things. It's just,
Yeah.
it's funny when you message people and they go, oh yeah, none of this, and that. And you go, fuck, I wouldn't have even considered that. Why are you even bringing up children? But
Right.
let's take out the really horrendous stuff that's almost illegal to shoot.
Yeah.
What is something that you that will not shoot regardless of the paycheck, and then something that you're like, man, that's under what my normal quote is, but I love this fetish so much, I am gonna go shoot, or I love working with this guy so much in this type of shoot, I'm gonna go do that.
That's some good questions. You know, usually I like to do everything once. I like to see if I like it before I say no. So really I'm open to doing most anything. Just for the experience, you know, I'd never want to regret the fact that I said I didn't want to do it. So I'll usually try, you know, anything once, and then if I do something and I'm like, I didn't really like that, let's never do it again, then, you know, no big deal. So I don't think I've really run across anything that I've been like, no.
Huh. Okay. Cool.
So
Yeah.
all right, so what is something that you really do love that you're like, fuck, I'll just take this scene regardless?
You know, I love certain performers.
Okay.
I love working with like Johnny Sins, and I love working with Manuel Ferreira and Mick
Oh,
Blue.
I'd love to work with him.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. It's amazing. And you know, when I'm working with specific performers, it's like whatever we do, let's go for it. Let's make an amazing scene, and you know, deal with everything else afterwards. And
The cleanup.
yeah, the cleanup, yes, for if you would. And so I try to keep everything within something very hot and sexual, and something that we can make sure to make an amazing scene with. That's really all that matters to me, is that I put out a kick-ass, you know, scene that's going to be remembered for years to come.
Sure.
Are they filming a scene at your house right now?
No, I have a big house with lots of people and lots of love around me. I've got my dogs, I've got my husband, I've got my chef, I've got so much going on.
A chef.
Yeah.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, she's
I
very
didn't.
close to me. She's a very close friend of mine, and she loves to cook. And so, got my own little personal chef here.
I didn't know we were talking to Prince. You know, jeez,
No, you
live-in
can talk to
chef.
Princess.
Yes, there we go. Nice.
So, all right. So to delve in a little bit deeper, let's go through this. So I've gone through a lot of your scenes. I like to tell my wife it's research, but you know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm noticing, and there's a difference. Shane and I are older than you. I'm 33 right now. So I was watching porn, you know, in the early 2000s and this and that. And it seemed like anal was a big thing that was like a landmark. You know,
Yeah.
we're working our way up to that. And interracial used to be that as well. But, you know, we're going to take that out of the equation because that seems problematic. But anal was something that people would work up to. Let me ask you, it seems like you did it pretty early on in your career. Was that something, and then I also want to touch on this later too, but was that something you had previous experience to before you started shooting porn? Were you a girl who's into it and then you were like, fuck it, I'll just do it?
And are you by
Seems-
chance Catholic?
Not Catholic, no. But I definitely dabbled in it before I shot. Actually, you
Dabbled.
guys can all thank my husband for the amazing anal scenes that I put out because he trained this booty right.
Wow.
He loves anal, and it's something that, you know, when I was young and we first met, and he was like, hey baby, you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, I've done it a couple times before. And he's like, you know, do you think you can? I'm like, I think maybe I can. And then all of a sudden we're like banging in the ass, you know, nonstop, and he's like, oh, you think you can, huh? You think you can? I'm like,
Life imitating art.
exactly. So when I was contracted for my anal with Tushy, it was kind of a no-brainer. I love it. I love everything about it. It feels amazing. It's really kinky, and guys just go crazy for it. So
Yes, they do.
I dove right into it, and for a good solid year, I think I shot really nothing but anal.
Wow.
And
Okay.
and it was incredible. It did incredible things for my career, and it did incredible things for me personally. I don't think anybody understands the true power that a woman has when she does anal. It's exhilarating. It's like you control everything, and you control the guy who's doing it to you. You know, like you can make him come real fast, or you could stop and be like, no, you gotta hold it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
it's just a
Yeah.
completely
Sure.
separate, you know, it's a completely separate entity. So anal is definitely one of my specialties, and anybody who knows me and knows my porn knows that I'm a badass anal queen.
So
Well, they can put that on your tombstone, you know?
They can. I wouldn't mind. My whole family knows, so it's not a secret.
Oh, well, good. That brings us
Yeah.
to something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I'm always interested. We had Gage on, and I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she was kind of like big around the time when me and Matt, like he said, in the early 2000s, first like got into porn, I guess. And she was saying almost something similar about how her whole family knows, everybody's cool, accepting, and I was really kind of shocked because I know, like, my family, like my dad used to just call me like a fat clown when I would walk out of the school with like a rock band t-shirt or something, and
Right.
my mom would just like drink herself to sleep. So like I
way to keep it sexy, Shane. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
yeah. So yeah, hearing this from Gage, I was so shocked, and then to hear it from you as well, it's just it's really refreshing, actually, like that, you know, some people had some good childhoods, it sounds like.
Well, if you're referring to me, you're so far off the base.
Just a good family now.
Yeah, well, no, I mean the family that I have around me, yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, okay.
But I was not raised properly. I had
Ugh.
probably one of the most darkest upbringings you could possibly have as a child.
Is that something you want to delve into, or is it
If
Is it
you guys want to, it's very dark. And
Oh
it can get
boy.
very serious very fast. But if you guys are curious as to what made Rebel Lynn be Rebel Lynn, then
Yeah, we're kind of
Well,
we're kind
well,
of interested
it a
in
little
knowing
bit.
who
I can
you
keep
are.
it
Yeah.
hey,
lighthearted.
let me interrupt. Can we play a quick game to see who wins this? So, Shane, in like just a few sentences, describe what was awful about your childhood. I'll go through mine, and
Okay.
then Rebel will tell us hers. And what we'll do is we'll leave it up to the listeners to vote and see who deserves the most sympathy. Shane, go quick.
My alcoholic, drug addict mother had sex with a bunch of guys in a house and then picked the one with the best upbringing and financial situation to raise the baby, which turned out to be me. My dad doesn't love me anymore because I'm not his biologically.
There we go. Matt, I'm Matt. This is mine. My dad left when I was 4 for 7.5 years. 6 months after he moved back in, we had an arson fire, burned our house down, had to sleep on my aunt's couch for a few weeks. Then about 10 years later, my little brother died of a drug overdose, and I found him in the bathroom. Rebel, go.
Oh my God. Following up on that, my as children, we were heavily abused, mentally, emotionally, physically, and sexually.
Ooh.
My parents were major drug addicts, could never get clean. We were in and out of foster care for the longest time until I went back with my dad, who'd married my stepmom, whose stepfather raped and abused me for 3 years growing up, went to court,
Fuck.
fought him, was in foster care and group homes until I was 15 and ran away to Washington, where then I started porn.
Okay. Right, Matt, before you even jump in, I want to ask a follow-up to your story there about when it comes to abuse and how proud you own your sexuality and how you are so empowered and in charge of your sex life, everything about it, and you're not ashamed at all.
Yeah.
How did that impact you, and what was the growth process like? Because I know people who have been abused and they've come out of it fine, and they've have perfectly good lives, and of course, like trauma lives with you forever in different ways, but sexual things in general always seem to take longer for them in the long run, just to accept, let alone own and claim and put on display. So how you at such a young age were you able to go from such like an awful, terrible, just unthinkable situation to and take it and flip it right on its head like that?
Yeah. I think most of it was I was in a really dark place, and I was really not appreciating me as a person and really loving myself, how somebody should love themselves, and appreciating, being alive. And so it kind of took a moment of, hold on a second, is this how I want to be for the rest of my life? Not wanting to be touched sexually, not wanting to, be alive. And I was like, no, I want to be able to hide. I've always been, it's just in me, I guess. I've always wanted to be somebody so in control of themselves and in control of their own sexuality. And so I was like, what better way to do it? I was given the opportunity to join porn, and I was like, let's do this. Let's take control of our own sexuality. Let's just
Wow.
take reins and, and not let anything that has happened to me in the past stop me from doing something that I
And
can very well be very passionate about.
you decided this all on your own? You didn't, I mean, have you gone to therapy, or have you had people in your life who have helped you, with advice, or is this just a realization you've come to just kind of naturally and just settled on?
I went through years and years of therapy. Thank
Okay.
God for it, because honestly, I understand that people are afraid of therapy or don't want to go, but it helped me immensely. I was able to talk through and understand things that were going on with me and really be able to put it in perspective and be able to work through all of my angst and all of my anger and everything, and try to get tools to help me on a daily basis. And once I was able to kind of heal myself from that, I was able to then push forward into the type of life and career that I want. And I want to go into sex therapy. It's going to be,
Wow.
it's something very, very important to me. I feel like it's very important to the world. Being confident in yourself sexually, and being that driving force in your sex life, it's so important. I don't feel like anybody else should control your sex life but you. And so, yeah, going through therapy definitely helped. And then the decision to join porn and to at least try it was 100% on me. I had the opportunity to be on America's Next Top Model, the under 22 season, or to go and do porn. And I literally had these two deals balancing in between. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I looked up everything, and I looked up the fact that on the Next Top Model, those girls don't do anything afterwards. They really don't hear any, except for Tyra Banks. You don't hear anything about anybody, and they kill themselves to be on that show. They kill themselves in the process. They have such strict dieting regimens, and I love to eat. And they have just ridiculous things put expectations put on them. And I'm just not that type of person. I'm really not. I'm not somebody who can let somebody tell me how to live. And so then I looked up pornography, and
for the first time ever, I decided to find out what porn was.
No. Believe me, I was a big fan of porn, but I looked up the back end of it. And what, what I mean, what these girls do, how much they make, what the process is, if it's legit, if these companies are just bullshit. And everything turned out to be legit. I decided, let's get on a plane and let's go do this, because I'm a very sexual person, and to combine sex, and then I also love to act. It's a very deep passion of mine. So to be able to combine the two and have pretty pictures taken of me, I'm there.
Yeah, I like that.
Shane and I, we were speaking earlier actually about something totally unrelated, but we said when people have been through tragedy, when people have been through terrible things in their lives, there's really two ways you can do it. You can either fall into that exact same thing. Like if your parents are alcoholics, you watch them drink, you watch them this and that, there's a good chance you could be an alcoholic. Or the opposite side, there's a good chance you could just never touch booze. It's your choice. So it sounds like you went through these awful, horrendous, terrible things, and you have that personality type where it was like, fuck it. No, you're not going to have this control over me my entire life.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let me take it back to sexy here real quick. You enjoy anal and you enjoy eating. What is the process to make sure that it turns out to be a good shoot and not a horrible, video on eFucked or another one of those blooper sites?
Yeah, amazing. Actually, that's a really good question, because I do know a lot of girls who just straight up starve themselves and literally do not eat for the day before or the day of the shoot. And I think it's ridiculous. It's just not good for you. You end up passing out on set, not having enough energy to finish the set, or just feeling like crap the whole time. And I'm not somebody who wants to do that. So I eat before my set, and I make sure that I eat protein heavy food, so that when I do digest, I can, clean up real quick and whatever. Because digestion, if you want to get into the science of digestion, you know what I mean? You're not going to eat and then all of a sudden have to go, unless you drink coffee or something weird like that. I don't know.
Sure.
At least me. So for me, I've always been able to eat healthy the night before, wake up, do my stuff, eat something before I get on set, even if it's a light something. And gummy bears really help. It helps settle your stomach, and it helps clear you out really nice. And while you're on set, it gives you the energy. So any girl who does anal on set at least knows that gummy bears is key.
You have a whole science
I'll
behind
let my
this,
wife
and I love
know.
it. Yeah. That is really awesome. So let me ask you, and we still have time here, but I want to get into this. What does the future hold for you? What kind of scenes do you want to do? Because I'll say this, looking through a lot of your OnlyFans stuff and a lot of the stuff you've done, you've never shot all due respect to you, I kind of prefer this stuff. You've never shot the grimy stuff, the and I don't mean gross. I mean like handheld camera with Metallica playing in the background type
Oh,
of
the
shit.
stuff I shoot. Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
is what we call that.
You shoot really beautiful scenes, like really amazing stuff. And I see where the model comes from because see that she gave me a heart. I appreciate that. Or maybe it was her ass. I don't know. Yeah. So what kind of or let me ask you, do you have your own production company? Are you putting together any kind of production company? Because I notice porn stars, it's a lot like rappers. You know, they put out some stuff and then they go, fuck it, I want my own label now.
No, that's a good question. I definitely want to start my own production. I definitely want to get behind the camera and produce and direct. It's a big goal of mine. I'm not quite there yet. I want to have a little bit more knowledge of everything that goes on behind the scenes. I'm still learning. It's a lot. So that is definitely in my future. More importantly, I want to knock out the things that I've never done before. Gangbang, DP, glory hole, boy, girl. I have so much out there that I haven't done yet. And it's specifically because I haven't had proper representation. I've been independent my entire career, except for 1 year that I was with an agency that didn't really do much for me. They just kind of
Took a cut of your money.
yeah, kind of, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I needed to just take because
Give some money away.
I had been running my career from the get with my husband, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want our relationship to be business, really at all. I'd like somebody to take my brand and my career and make it and turn it into everything that I want it to be. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm building a brand. And it's more than just, hey, I'm a girl who wants to fuck. I am a name, I'm a label, I'm a household, name. And I'm building up this brand that I eventually want to see in lights. I eventually want all of the awards. I eventually want to do all of the acting gigs that I can with Axel Braun and with all of the parody all the parody porn and all of those big productions, like Tushy, that I have been so amazing to have been so lucky to be able to be a part of, and I'd love to be a part of it more. And that's really what my goal is. I want to create movie style porn. I don't just, I can put up a camera and fuck. It's easy, you know what I mean? I love that too. It's great, it's fun. But I got in here to make cinematic porn.
Sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, that you like the Quentin Tarantino
100%.
porn.
Yeah. Now I would advise you, maybe you should swing by some of the grimier ones just to see what it's like to be on those sites, like a Gangbang Cream Pie or a Texas Bukkake type website.
It's coming, baby. Don't worry.
I was gonna say Trike Patrol, but then she'd have to put on some sort of questionable disguise, and we don't want to dive into that.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you and what I'm getting a sense of is it feels very much like somebody I know you've worked with in the past, at least on one scene. I think only one scene, and a Bella Danger. Where a Bella Danger still does great porn, as far as I know. She did some phenomenal scenes, and then we can even go a generation, as I do in hand quotes, back, and you could say someone like a Sasha Grey. So Rebel Lynn, I'll speak about you in the third person right to your face. Rebel Lynn doesn't just want to be the porn girl. It sounds like you don't want to just be the porn girl. You love porn, you appreciate porn, you do everything you said there. Sounds like you want to do more porn. But I see you honestly doing a lot more crossover as well.
I see you putting out an album.
Right there, yeah.
Got it right on the nose. That's exactly who I am. That's exactly what I want my brand to be, and it's what I hope that everybody realizes that I am in the future.
Sure. Yeah, I think we are much more accepting. I've always been accepting of it, but I think we're much more accepting of the crossover from porn star into mainstream than we've ever been, because I think a lot of porn is so prevalent, even if it's not actual porn. Like anyone can go follow an Abella Danger or can go follow a Sasha Grey. And then it's amazing once you are in that mainstream thing. I assume, maybe I'm wrong on this, you have complete control over any kind of porn. You're Brad Pitt on the set of a low budget movie at that point.
Yeah.
Where you
Also,
go,
Matt,
I want this, I want that, this is what I'm gonna have done.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I mean, I'd like to bring up a name, you know, like Katie Morgan.
Oh
If you
yeah.
guys don't know who Katie Morgan is, you're
Mm.
missing out. That is, she's queen, you know, in our world. She has done everything you can possibly do, switched over into mainstream, come back to porn, kill porn, and do everything that she wants to do, how she wants to do it. She's a very close friend of mine, and I look up to her incredibly. And so I aspire to be just like that. Sasha Grey, Abella Danger, these are names that people just know. And
Mhm.
why do they know it? Sometimes they don't even know, but then they were like, oh, porn. And that's what I want. You know, I want household, you know, notoriety. I want people to be sitting around in a group and be like, oh, you know that porn star Rebel Lynn, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, she did this movie, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm really looking forward to the future, you know, of what I can turn this brand into. You know, it's more than just porn. It's definitely porn, but it's more than just porn. It's a deep passion for me.
See, maybe even another generation, again, I say generation in quotes, but even before Sasha Grey, I think
My
maybe
husband's looking at me like a piece of meat right now. Get out of here.
you
Go
are
for
the
it.
most, I mean, you're the most beautiful piece of meat in that house. So what's he gonna do? Stare at the dog? I mean, come on.
There's meat downstairs. She's cooking it. Go.
Belladonna was another great example, I think, of
Oh,
a
yeah.
crossover artist. Belladonna did some of the most hardcore shit anyone's ever seen. And then she was in Inherent Vice, that Paul
Mhm.
Thomas Anderson movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, what the fuck do I know? I'm a podcast host here, but I do see that in your future because you have that look. But also, hearing you speak and hearing you talk about it, you
Got
have
the
a very
drive.
clear vision. And
Mhm.
I think what's so amazing is, and I've talked about this before, a lot of porn girls who I've seen behind the scenes stuff with, you watch their scenes and they almost look not in a negative way, but like not a thought is going through their head. They're just kind of like, yeah, I'm in this. Again, not in a negative way. Then you watch the behind the scenes and you see how smart they are with a lot of stuff. I think anyone who becomes a level of, or reaches a level of fame, has to have some kind of intelligence, at least about their own brand and what they, you know, have going forward. So let me swing back real quick to a thing that I think hurt your brand a lot. What happened to your Twitter account? Because as we're prepping for this thing, I'm going, I want to make sure I have all of Rebel shit. Now, remember, her current Twitter account is, wait, let me bring it up to get it right again. The Rebel Lynn 2, right? Yeah, I just don't want to fuck that up.
No.
The Rebel Lynn 2, and her OnlyFans is Join the Rebellion. So what happened to your Twitter? And your Instagram's gone.
So yes, you're gonna make me cry here. This just happened recently. Some dick, and I'm sure you know who you are because you're not stealing my Twitter and not watching my interviews. You know who you are. You're an absolute piece of shit. They stole my Twitter and they decided to just sit on it. And they changed the password, they changed the email that's connected to it. Don't know how they got into it. I might have probably should have changed my password, you know.
Was your password 1?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what my password is. So just for future reference, anybody else want to steal my Twitter, my password's password 1. They stole it from me and they haven't done anything with it. They're just kind of sitting there with it. And I'd be like, you know, I don't care. Steal it and post something. Do something with it.
Post a dick pic. Yeah.
Post a dick pic. Do something, like whatever. And
Just like an acorn.
messaged them back. I begged them to give it back to me. I told them I'd give them money, like whatever you want, just give me my Twitter back. Didn't work. I've done all the Twitter stuff, try to try to do everything. It's just not working. And yeah, it's one of the biggest letdowns that a girl can do. That can happen to a girl in porn facing her social media is it being
Sure.
taken away or deleted, because I worked on my social media since I was 18 years old.
Sure.
And it's been years in the making. And then all of a sudden I have to start from square one. And production companies and talent and other porn stars go and look at your Twitter. That's the first thing they do. Hey, what's your Twitter? Let's go see you, blah, blah, blah. And then they put me up and I'm at 1,000 followers. You know what I mean? And it's really discouraging, but honestly, for me, I know my worth. I know what to put into this industry, and I know that I can build it back up. It's just gonna take some time. It's gonna take some patience that I need to muster up, but I will. It will be back. One of these days, it'll be right back up to where it was. But
Sure.
yeah, it really, really does hurt me. It hurt me emotionally. It breaks my heart, but it hurts me. It hurts me business wise.
Sure.
Financially.
It really is one of the biggest like showcases for your career, is how many followers you have on the internet right now. And my Instagram was deleted.
Now, was your Instagram deleted because some guy stole it with password 1, or was your Instagram deleted because maybe you got a little saucy and Mark Zuckerberg couldn't take it and blew a load in his pants?
I think it was a latter. No, it was definitely not stolen. It was definitely deleted. They told me that I violated the community's standards or whatever it is, and
Instagram's
I call
bullshit.
I call
yep,
bullshit
see?
because I honestly have been incredibly careful with what I post on my Instagram. I always have been. I always knew it was a thing. I never wanted to get my Instagram taken away from, but specifically because of my content, specifically because of what I do,
Yeah.
they decided that I'm just too risque. Me in a bikini is worse than Kim Kardashian in a bikini because I do porn.
Well, they target communities. That's the same way. I'll vouch for her, Matt, 100%. I think you've heard me say this. I might have even mentioned it on the show. My wife does pole dancing. She teaches a pole dancing class, and she will post videos of herself, just 10-second clips of a routine or something at our house, fully clothed, and her stuff will get taken down. It's like it's an aerobic class. It's like a fitness thing more than anything. And she's been banned. She's had plenty of posts removed. I think she might have had one account deleted, and then it took her a long time before she made another one. Instagram's bullshit. I wouldn't even bat an eye about Instagram. Just stick to your Twitter.
I agree. I really do agree. I honestly have given up on Instagram. They'd never deleted me before. I'd never gotten even a warning before. And then all of a sudden they just decided to delete it. So I kind of give them the bird and tell them peace and love and prosperity and go your own way, and I'll go my own way. And you just won't get any of my business. That's fine.
Sure.
But Twitter is major for my community. It's major for my industry and my career. It's the first thing that anybody looks up when they look me up in the industry. And then outside of the industry, it's one of the only ways that my fans can communicate with me personally.
Sure. Well, yeah, I was gonna say Twitter obviously means more to you guys because they allow nudity. So you can post model shoots or this and that. You don't have to put black bars over anything. And OnlyFans, while it's great, again, join the rebellion, is Rebel on OnlyFans. What I'll say with that though is it's behind a paywall essentially right away. If only you guys could have maybe like 10 preview images. I don't know, maybe I don't use it enough, maybe you can, but you could leverage that as more of a thing for to showcase yourself to other producers and such.
Right.
My house is about to go crazy. I'm sorry.
No, you're
that
fine.
happens like once per episode for me. So it's good.
You're good.
It's 100% something that on OnlyFans I can post something that I doesn't no pay, no nothing. It's just freebie. Like, here you go, here's a little treat. And
it helps. It definitely does. I love OnlyFans. I love their whole thing. They're really working out right now. So it's pretty great that we have the OnlyFans available to us, and I'm building back my Twitter. You guys help me build my Twitter. Anybody who's watching
Yes.
this, go
We
follow
are
my Twitter, the Rebel Lynn 2. It's simple to find me, and it's easy to click follow. Just follow me and share me and tweet me out and have your friends share me. Tell your friends. Don't be one of those that are, all like, oh, I watch porn, I'm not going to talk to my friends. No, talk to your friends. Be like, hey, this hot bitch, go follow her. Be pushy about it. Be pushy
talk
for
to
me.
your friends about porn. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talk
just
to your
do
friends
it.
about porn. Just do it. It's normal. We all do it.
So wait, there's no way has your husband or anyone else been in contact with anyone at Twitter? Because there's been plenty of times when people's shit has been pulled, and
Yeah.
then are they targeting you as in a porn star? Totally. Like, was I wouldn't assume Twitter would be as bad with that. Now, if you posted some anti-vaccine shit, they'd probably boot you super quick. But I assume they wouldn't be as bad because they allow that. But it sounds like, have you gone down the different avenues, or do you need a
I've done
manager to do that part for you?
I've done pretty much everything that I know how to do, and my husband's done everything that he knows how to do. We are really at a loss for words. If I am 100% open to somebody helping me who maybe knows the ropes, don't message me if you don't know the ropes and are just guessing, just like we are, because we've guessed. If you know what you're doing, message me. I will message back. We'll have a great relationship. And if you help me get my Twitter back, you never know, you know what I mean? We'll meet up. I'm
Wow.
not shy. Like, if somebody knows, I am open to suggestions. I'm open to somebody helping me. I'm open to somebody getting in there and doing, the dirty work. I'm open to it. So somebody wants to do the dirty work for me, and I can do the dirty work for me. I'm ready. But
Someone wants to do the dirty work, but when they meet up, it's got to be your husband.
no,
Shane,
no. If you're working for me, it's a very personal relationship.
okay, everyone be quiet. I'm digging and trying to find someone at Twitter to please take care of this for me.
Yes.
Please, Jesus Christ, take care of this right now. Yeah, it's is there another avenue you girls can use, or no? I can't think of it, right?
Not that I know of. I know that some girls use Tumblr. A lot
Okay.
of girls are on TikTok now, but there's really nothing that I'm aware of that's like Twitter. And if there is, I'm sure I'll find it. And there might be something else that's gonna pop up that's like a Twitter, and we'll be on it. But for now, I do have my new Twitter, and I'm just gonna really focus on that until somebody comes to me and is like, hey, I have a solution for you. And if that happens, I'm 100% open. But for right now, I'm focused on building this Twitter up, because honestly, if that's what I need to do, I need to do it anyway. And I can do it. I have very loyal fans.
Yeah.
Half of my fans from my old Twitter doesn't even know that my Twitter account was hacked into. So until they all find out, then they'll refollow me, and we'll get the ball back to rolling. But for now, I'm stuck being deleted at 100,000 followers.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
Frustrating.
rough, man. Yeah. I don't know. We're trying to get more creative with how we market things, and what we're using a lot more with interviews with different porn stars is red gifs, but that does nothing really for you. I mean, it's just pictures of you and stuff like that. All right, delving back in. So you said you worked with Manuel Ferreira. I've never heard a negative word about Manuel Ferreira. Never once. I'm sure there's some article somewhere I didn't read, but I've even watched the behind the scenes videos where the chicks are like crying afterwards, because not in a negative way, like sometimes I would expect if I was in those scenes with Manuel, but they're crying because he's so passionate and so whatever. How important is that for a scene to have someone you are passionate with, and does it make it an exponentially better scene? Or if you're just somewhat okay with the guy, like he's still on your yes list, but he's no Manuel, can you still deliver as high of a quality of a scene?
Yes, you can.
Sure.
It's not as easy, but so with somebody who if you're working with somebody who you're passionate with or have some chemistry with, the scene is just gonna flow. it could turn a 9-hour day to feel like a 4-hour day. You know what I mean? It really just goes along, and you can see the passion, you can see the chemistry between the two people on set, on the camera. And when you're dealing with somebody who you don't necessarily have much chemistry with, it's really on you to turn that scene out. Like, I have had Manuel Ferrer is an incredibly passionate person, and very passionate performer, which I love that about him. He's very sexy, and it's a joy working with him. And every girl will tell you that he just gets women. He knows what we like. He appreciates us for our beauty, and he's very open to doing, you know, other stuff. Like, you know, if we're like, oh, touch me here, he's like, yes, I'll touch you here. You know, like, it's amazing. Like, he's very good at what he does. But when you're working with somebody who either you have to carry the scene, or who doesn't really know what they're doing, or who doesn't really care, it can be very frustrating, and it can really be on you. Like, I've had a day on set with somebody who we were just not we were fighting all day.
Right.
We were like scream matching each other, because I had mentioned another performer to the director. He had asked me if I worked well with him, and I was like, yeah, he's a really good friend of mine. You should book us together. We'll throw you a great scene. And my scene partner walks in. He's like, well, sorry, I'm no blah blah blah, and said his name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not here because you're da da da. I'm here because you're you, and I'm shooting with you. If I wanted him on set, I would text him right now and get him here right now. If that was the case. I'm not somebody who's gonna shoot with somebody I don't want to shoot with. I'm shooting with you because I haven't shot with you before, because I appreciate your work, and because I think that we could throw a kick-ass scene. And, you know, I calmed him down or whatever. And then the person ended up having to be on set that day. And so he walks through the door. He's a very good friend of mine. So I go and I hug him, and, you know, say my hellos and everything. And it was a huge problem with my
Scene partner. Yeah.
Wow.
partner that day. And so I had to deal with him just almost like a jealous boyfriend. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you hugged him, and I'm your scene partner today, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you're not my
Wow.
boyfriend, honey. This isn't how this works. I was like, this is extremely unprofessional. He's like, well, it's unprofessional for you to be talking to another guy when you're supposed to be with me. I'm like, no. This is not how this works. Like, I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not yours. Like, I'm not your person. You know what I mean? This isn't how it is. So we were just fighting. We were back and forth fighting the whole day until the camera came on. As soon as that camera came on, lights, camera, action, we were in our characters. We threw a kick-ass scene, and we used all that hate and angst and just fucked the shit out of each other. And like, through one of the best scenes that I feel I've ever had. It's Teen Hitchhikers. Look it up, you guys. Rebel Lynn, Teen Hitchhikers. One of the hottest fucking scenes I have out there. And it's because I turned all of that into passion.
Performance, yeah.
Right, into a performance. And if you don't do that, though, you have two people who are just trying to get through the day. And it's not a good scene. It's just boring. And you know what I mean? And for guys that just want to see a dick and a pussy, that's fine. But for somebody who wants to see a performance and who wants to see somebody going at each other, that's what you want to see. And that's how you need to turn that type of day into an amazing kick-ass performance.
So let me ask you now, this person, and also super professional on you not to name anybody, but you kind of gave it away with the title. Whatever, I won't name the person.
Y'all can look it up and know
Sure,
exactly
there you
what I'm
go.
talking about. I don't care, but I'm not gonna say.
Let me say this though. Does this person then go on a no list going forward, or are you?
Maybe we both wouldn't want to work together. So if he saw my name on a list, he'd probably be like, no. If I saw his name on a list, I'd be like, are you sure he even wants to work with me? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, I don't know why, but honestly, if somebody saw that scene and was like, that's kick ass, I want them back together, I would just use that passion and that, hate and just hate fucking again,
Cool.
So let me ask, oh shit, where was I going with this? Oh, okay. Nope, I have no idea where I was going with that. Have you had to put someone else on a no list? Or again, I'm going in like 20-year-old porn terms here because
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
used to.
No,
So,
it's still around, Yeah, that's still a thing.
okay.
I don't really have a no list. I do have
A
maybe one
preference
person.
list?
No, not
No,
really a
okay.
preference list. I only have one person who we had a really negative experience with,
Okay.
and there's no reason for me to ever be around that person, and so
Sure.
yeah, that person is on my no list. But other than that, I really have nobody that I have a problem working with.
So again, I won't ask you to name that person, but was it just too aggressive during a scene? Was it because what you said about the person you shot with before, I'd be like, fuck this guy. I'm the star here. You're a dick. You
Yeah,
know? Yeah,
right.
So when now did you shoot a scene with this other person, or was it just a confrontation outside of porn?
Yeah, it was a confrontation outside of porn. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, somebody I had been living with, and they just did some
Oh,
dirty shit, and I don't need that person in my life,
I
So,
think that's totally fair. Yeah, well, look, I think we have gotten to such a great point because when we spoke to, again, Gage, look her up, because you have a lot of similarities to Gage in this way. Petite, thin frame, all of that shit. And I think that's a great calling card for a lot of performers.
what
You
is
know.
big
what is
fucking
her full
voice
name?
though. Big outspoken voice, a lot of that.
Yeah,
Pizzazz.
definitely. I love to be heard, and I want to make sure that people understand that I'm more than just a pretty face. I mean, it's very pretty, but definitely more than just a pretty face. I have a lot going on in this mind of mine, and I want to be able to use it to better porn and be able to educate the women that come into this industry, because there are a lot of girls who come in who have no idea what they're doing and no guidance whatsoever.
Right.
And so I like to be that driving force. I like to be that somebody that they can look up to, and to be able to guide them a little bit in this industry, and give them little bits of information here and there, and it's amazing. It's something that me and my husband really work towards, is to make women feel empowered in this industry. And it's something that is new, and people don't necessarily like it. The old echelon, I would say, of porn doesn't necessarily like the fact that me and my husband both try to acknowledge the girls and empower them and make them aware of certain situations, because that way people can't get over. And
Sure.
the world of getting over in porn is over. There's really not much of it anymore. There's all of the companies or agencies or people who do get over girls, and who have even abused women in this industry, are gone. They're
Sure.
not heard of anymore. And that's because us women are standing up and speaking for what's right, and being like, yeah, we fuck for a living, and we fucking love it. And this is how it's gonna be. You're not gonna take advantage of us anymore. You're not going to pull the wool over our eyes. You're not going to let something go over our head just because. I'm not going to show up on set and have something done to me that I 100% didn't want done to me. It just doesn't have to happen anymore, especially because of the day of social media.
So shout out to all of our deeply fucked up incel male listeners. It's over and time's up. What is it? Time's
up.
Time's up. You're out, bud. These girls can go make their own shit now. All right.
Yeah. It's time to just start respecting, us women for, and that doesn't mean we're not gonna fuck. Like, we love to fuck. That's why we got here. You know what I mean? You don't have to fuck us in order to fuck us,
Oh my gosh. Another great tombstone right there.
All right, we're gonna wrap up here in a minute. Shane, do you have anything else for Rebel today?
I honestly think I'm just, again, pleasantly surprised by another just really good, insightful interview. I learned so much by every interview we do. Everyone's got such a unique perspective, but I really like hearing your plans for stardom, and I look forward to an album, a movie, a book, all of it
Amazing.
coming soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys having me on. I I just love to, share who I am with the world, and you guys gave me another avenue to be able to do that. So I really appreciate you guys having me, and I loved being here.
Let's make sure we direct everyone back to the main avenue, though. Go on your Twitter, go on your mother's Twitter, go on your cousin's Twitter. I don't give a shit who you are. If you have a Twitter, go follow the Rebel Lynn, 2 N's in Lynn, obviously, 2. The Rebel Lynn 2. And then once you've seen, oh my God, this girl's great. She's also so fucking smart. She's cool. She's going to be the next mainstream crossover. I better get in on her OnlyFans real soon. Get in quick before then it goes, whatever, and it's more expensive. Go to OnlyFans and look up Join the Rebellion. Maybe one of the best names I've heard on OnlyFans. So
it's probably top tier for me, top 3. Yeah, it's
agree.
really amazing.
Rebel Lynn, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you all. Mwah, this has been such a pleasure.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks for listening to Your Worst Friend. Going deeper.